This is Jake with AG Russell Knives. Thanks for joining in today. This is going to be a fun video. I've had a few people ask me to do a video on specifically some of Bob's folding knife designs, and I've had a few people ask me when I'm just going to do a video in general. I know it's been a while. I've been super busy in the store, but let's just jump right into it. So we're going to start off with the budget end and move on up to the handmades, just in so budget and then higher end each model. And we'll start off with the KABAR Dozier Folding Hunter. This is a cool knife. One of my favorite budget knives. They run about $19 to $22. Super popular. I started counting how many YouTube reviews they have, and I stopped counting at 50. So yeah, you can tell they're popular when they have 50 plus reviews. And granted, they're easy to pick up, and that's one of the reasons they're popular with reviewers, and that's one of the reasons they're popular with just knife folks in general. 20 bucks, 19 to 22 bucks, typically about 20. For AUS 8 steel, that's a great steal for 20 bucks. Works great. It's a great all-rounder steel. You got some nice texturing, some FRN type handles. It's not exactly FRN, but you know, you get the idea. It's basically the same thing. Super lightweight, 2.3 ounces. It is a double position clip, so you can flip it right hand, left hand. The thumb stud is only on one side, but it will flip, so you can do a full left-hander knife on here. All you have to do is flip them over, which is fantastic, as I'm a left-hander. It is a lockback, which is a great type of lock, super strong, super reliable. And it is more specifically a mid-lock, so the cool thing about the mid-lock is you can actually do it one-handed by pressing down on it and keeping your forefinger up towards the top. So as you close it, this unsharpened section right here is hitting your finger. And so if we pull out a little bit, just like that. Easy to do one-handed. Granted, I have fairly large hands, and so maybe my longer fingers make it a little bit easier, but you can definitely get the hang of that and do it one-handed. So super cool little knife. Very popular. It comes in a bunch of different colors. This one's red. It comes in blue, gray, coyote brown, black, pink, all different colors. It even comes with a couple different blade shapes. It comes in, this one's got a thumb hole, kind of like the Spyderco's. The nice thing about thumb holes is it's a little bit easier to use with the gloves on. It comes in a mini size. The mini size doesn't have many colors, but I think it's a great size, especially for your kids. I think your kid's first knife, you need a quick one that's, you're not going to cry if they lose it, because they probably will. But it's not too small to be mishandled, and it's not too big to be mishandled. I think it's just the right size for someone with small hands. You can open that with two hands just for a real easy release, and then it's also got the lock back, which is fairly easy to use, and you just close it two-handed. Very reliable lock. So yeah, it makes a great kid's first knife. So that is the KABAR Dozier Hunters. Solid budget knife. I think for 20 bucks, it's one of my top choices. Next, we're going to go into the Ontario Bob Dozier Arrows. I love these. It has a very interesting thumb stud design. We can see right there in the thumb stud is actually fairly blocky and texturing on the top. The texturing is just the right amount. I think it's just grippy enough, and it's not annoying on the thumb. D2 blade, it is single-edged. The top part is not sharpened, but it has that double-edged grind, so it's got that great penetration factor. It is a liner lock. The handles are super lightweight, and they're super grippy, like extremely grippy. Somewhat worried about this tearing up your jeans pocket. I think that's a legitimate concern, but this is a tactical knife, a self-defense knife, and you really don't want to slip on it. It's also got two great flares right there so that you're not going to slip up on the blade. So going forward, you can't slip forward on it. It's a pretty solid knife design. It is a right-handers only clip, and it's got a single, it only has one screw. Personally, I prefer 2 screws in my pocket knives. It is only supported with 1 backspacer and the pivot, so it does have a little bit of flex in the middle. Not a whole lot, even though I'm pressing pretty hard. It flexes a little bit. Personally, I don't mind that. Some people do. If you want a really solid, heavy-feeling knife, this is not it, because it's super lightweight. Those come in at 50 bucks, 50 bucks for D2. That's a good deal. Next, we're going to go into the A.G. Russell Small Dozier Trapper with flippers. 2 things Bob hates on folding pocket knives is flippers and deep pocket clips. And this one has both. AG modified it due to popular demand. We actually had a bigger version of this one with it didn't have a deep pocket clip and it didn't have a flipper. And folks asked AG to modify it, and he did, and he made it a little bit smaller and added those 2 features. It does have a thumb stud as well, 4-position pocket clip, and it does come with the regular pocket clip as well, like Bob likes it, with extra screws. So if you lose your screws or pocket clip, you got an extra one. That's awesome. I like that. I wish more companies came with extra pocket clips. Now the flipper, I should say, is not a single flipper. It's not going to do it in one action. So you pull back, you're going to get halfway. On this one, you do need flick to get it all the way open. That's just how it's designed. Some people like that, some people don't. I've talked to a lot of customers who have this, and interestingly, it is a very, very popular tackle box knife. I got a lot of people who have it in their tackle box. It comes in 2 handle materials, this green G10, which is fairly grippy, not nearly as aggressive as the Ontario Aero, but just a little bit of grip. I think this is the right amount of grip for me. It's not going to tear up my jeans, but it's not going to let me slip on it either. It also comes in the super smooth, very nice looking Cocobolo wood here. Personally, that's definitely my preference in terms of looks, but keep in mind, if you want texture, this isn't for you. It is very smooth. Again, 4-position pocket clip, which is super nice, especially as a left-hander. And it's got a lanyard hole, and the Dozier, the KABARs have a lanyard hole. The Aero does not. It's a neat little knife, for sure. I did a full review on these earlier, so check out that video if you want to go into more depth. Next, we're going into the Dozier Combat Folder. This is a cool knife. It is a hunkin' junkin' stabbing machine. Look at those thick titanium slabs. That is not going to fold on you. Those suckers are thick. They do not flex. I'm putting a lot of pressure there. And yeah, there's no flex. Those are thick. There's a reason it comes in at $225, and that's because titanium is paid for by the ounce, and it is expensive. This is a large knife with thick slabs with not a whole lot of milling on the inside. So it's full strength, and it's going to cost you a little bit of money to get. But absolutely really cool knife. It has the bronze washers. It's got a flipper. Super smooth. It has the flipper with some jimping, and it's got the thumb ramp with some jimping, so you're not slipping forward on that. It has an armor piercing point. You can see it thickens out at the top there. Full blade is a Warncliffe type blade. AG called it the armor piercing blade, just because if you go in from an undercut like that, it is super, it's got the extra swedges there, so with the reinforced tip, yeah, it's going to go through pretty much whatever you stab it through. And it's not going to go straight because it's not symmetrically ground, but it's going to go through it. This is a really cool knife. It's fun to play with. It does also have 4-position pocket clip, It comes with the regular pocket clip on it, but it also does come with deep pocket clip and screws. I have done a full review on this one as well, so check out that video if you want to go any deeper, but it is a cool knife. Next, we're getting into one of the main requests is to look at some of Bob's handmade knives. These are super limited in supply. We can only get these 2 models at this time. I think Bob is 6 months in arrears as far as folding knives. These are all made by Bob in St. Paul. And there might be a couple that were made before he moved there, but I think they're all made in St. Paul. This one is marked as 2018. This is his Shark model. It's got kind of a sheep's foot Warncliffe type blade here. Again, super thick titanium scales. This is really a solid work knife. It's got that lower point for great point control. It's coming in at $5.95, so it is not a cheap knife, but handmade folders rarely are. Full titanium clip with some anodizing there. It is a single position clip. It's gonna be right hand only knife. But it is the cool knife. I know a lot of people who just use it as their work knife, and it's a neat one. It's got some jimping there. It is fairly aggressive, but it's not painfully. I think he finds the right balance there. It's got a very interesting, it's not a completely flat. It's got a little bit of rounding to the spine here, but the edge still has a little bit of sharpness for if you wanted to use a ferro rod on it. It's an interesting mix. I don't think you could do that unless it was handmade, like with a factory, with this combo of slightly rounded plus a little bit of an edge on the tip here. I think everything's pretty well chamfered off though. Again, using the D2 that Bob is so famous for. People have done a lot of edge retention tests, and Bob's heat treatment does better than other people's D2. Like, it literally cuts more. So everyone knows Bob is the master heat treater of D2, and there's a reason for that. It's because his actually does better than everybody else's. And every time A.G. Russell uses D2, we are using his heat treatment formula. And finally, let's look at the little workhorse. Again, coming in at $5.95, so same price for both of these. It just depends on what size you want to get. You can see the little workhorse is a little bit bigger. It's a bigger knife here. Put them on the ground there. It does have this little tab in the back. It is not a flipper because, again, Bob does not like flippers. It is actually just as a finger guard there, and so you can't slip forward on it. Again, nice jimping on this spine here. It's got that semi-rounded spine as well. Interesting, it's a kind of interesting looking swedge at the top here. I kind of like it. I think it looks good. Again, we're using the D2 heat treatment with Bob. Really, really thick handle material, or thick handle scales here. Titanium clip. It's going to be right hand only, and you do have the lanyard. And you got the single spacer on the back and the pivot. So again, Bob really likes his simpler designs here. But the name tells you everything. It is the little workhorse, and this sucker is a workhorse. It is going to do everything you ask of it. So that's going to wrap it up. The KABAR knives, great budget knives, easily one of my favorite picks in the $20 range. The Bob Dozier Arrow comes in the black blade. I don't think I showed you the black blade or not, but it comes in the black or the satin, 50 bucks, D2, solid. I think really underrated tactical knife, especially for the $50 range. Super lightweight, but it's a great little knife. This one's been on my to-buy list for a while. Unfortunately, I keep spending my knife money. The A.G. Russell Dozier Small Trappers, kind of it's a Bob Dozier design with a couple modifications from A.G. Really, really popular, especially in tackle boxes or as hunting knives. The combat folder, this one's probably my favorite. It's just stinking cool. I want to take this out to the woods and use it as a camp knife. I know it's not designed for that, but I feel like it would be stellar. And then, of course, the Handmades, we have the Shark and the Dozier. Great work knives. If you want to spend a little extra to have a knife that's not going to fail you, this is going to be your guy. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out some other videos, like our video, subscribe, share it. All of that is really, really helpful and encourages me to do more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.